Welcome back, everybody. This is the Perakee podcast. I am Brad Mulhall. I'm here today with Kyle Morrice. He is an oil field engineer, a musician, an actor, a philanthropist, world traveler, a psychonaut, and an old and good friend. He's a very interesting fellow, and I love talking to him, so I thought you guys would all like to hear about him and all of his crazy goings on in the world. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing good, man. Really good. It's awesome to see you.
Yeah. Good to know. Ladies and gentlemen, I've known this guy since fucking grade 8, I think.
Yeah, grade 8. Grade
Yeah,
8.
yeah.
Brad was the first friend I had when I moved to a new school. It was awesome. And we've managed to stay in touch ever since, here and there. It's always been
long time.
Yeah, a long time. Always ever able to bounce some ideas and stuff off each other, or crazy shit, or
Yeah, that's why we always stayed in touch, because we're fucking nutcases. We both like Hunter Thompson, I think, and stuff like that. There was always a connection, all the weird authors and shit we listened to. And psychedelic.
Yeah. Psychedelics, yeah, exactly. Going to another dimension. In this dimension.
So let's tell the people about yourself. Give them a rundown about yourself, what you do and who you are.
Yeah, well, okay, so for I guess, yeah, for a job, for money or whatever, I guess, because you need that sometimes. But
for drugs, yeah.
Yeah, for better drugs. Oh, that's pretty cheap, you know. Same with mushrooms. Now you can order them online.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm a power engineer in the oil field. I don't know. I mean, I always wanted to be an artist, whatever that is. I guess the artist and artist, you don't have to really be an artist. It took me a while to figure that out, that you can pretty much do whatever you want. I don't know. I thought I was in my like late 20s when I'm like, wait, I can read, I can like learn how to paint, I can play guitar. Yeah, I can do some acting and do some things. You just got to put yourself out there and put yourself in the situation. So I guess, yeah, I've learned that, but always been like looking to, I guess, question the world and like, what are we doing here, or why, or finding some purpose. Which took me a while to figure out that it's all inside you. Just have to like tap into. About me, yeah. So anyway, I'm an engineer. I play some music and do some, yeah. Just always trying to, well, anyway, just try to be a good person, and if anything, hopefully affect someone in a positive way somehow. I mean, that's all you can really hope for in life, or whatever. Maybe change the world a little bit, even though it's a big thing to try to do. But,
yeah, well, I mean, share the light that you got inside of you, right? Fucking
yeah.
Give
exactly.
Give it away now.
Yeah. It just, yeah, I found like, well, even without psychedelics, but just like being open and like opening your heart, like life will kind of find you or whatever, if you're like open to other people's ideas, or like finding things like you're closed off. Well, for a while I lived in like Vancouver, and I never met anybody, and I thought it was like, I'm like, oh yeah, people here, whatever, it's probably them. And actually I took a course, because I always read like self-help books and like trying to figure things out. I went to this like landmark forum, not that I did it twice. Actually, the first time I went to it, I bailed at like lunchtime. I was like, fuck this shit. Anyway, I don't need to be told what to do. And so I ended up going back in Vancouver, but after that course, and it's like you kind of realize that everyone's the same. We all have like the same problems. We're all kind of looking for the same things. We want this like happiness, but I mean, to be happy too, you got to put yourself through some shit. Like you got to work to get there. It's not like sitting on the beach drinking margaritas all day is going to be your fucking really going to make your life wonderful. I mean, it's nice in theory, but after a couple of days it gets boring. You got to challenge yourself. And yeah, so that's what I got from that. But then also just like, yeah, opening your heart, being vulnerable to people, even though it can be hard and you might get trampled on. But I think it's better to, if you got to walk through better to walk through fire and get burned than not walk through it at all. So, or maybe you'll walk through and you'll be okay, come out somebody new. So, yeah.
For sure. Oh yeah, pushing boundaries and limits. Like that's one thing with me mining underground and this that. There's lots of adversity, lots of shit to overcome, but it sure makes you like appreciate life and want to live life to its fullest when you're not underground all day and you have your days off. Makes me a bit of a wild man, makes me annoying to my family. So like up early, I want to go, let's go to the beach, let's go do this, let's go hiking, let's go. I just want to do it all in one day, right?
I'm 100% the same. Well, because I work, so I fly in and out of Calgary. So like when I'm at work, it's like I live two different lives. Like at work too, it's all like really structured. You know, I'm up at like 4:30 in the morning. I usually like try to get a bit of a workout in, go to work, play some guitar, like at the end of the day, meditate a bit, whatever, go to bed, wake up, do it all. It's all dry camp and stuff too. So you're not like smoking weed or drinking beer. It's like you kind of have this, just like this, learn to just be this calm mindset. Like I'm here, get through it. And just be happy. Like I come up with, I mean, as much as I like, you know, doing psychedelics or smoking a joint to get some ideas or drinking beer, I find you come up with a lot of shit when you're like sober. if you want to, if you can like open yourself up that way and get different ideas, and always carrying a notebook around. I've written lots of like songs and come up with some ideas at work and stuff and get all excited. But yeah, then when you get out of work though, it's like, woo, but you like have nothing. I try to make a list to like keep track, but yeah, it's like, let's go here, let's do this. I know exactly what you mean. I got 7 days and I want to fit a whole bunch of shit in. I haven't been here.
I know. I do 14.
Like
we froze up. But we're back. Yeah. No, I was just gonna say I do 14 days. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do 14 days in camp and then 14 days at home. And it's funny because you're always there, you're sober, you're working out, feeling good. And I have shitty internet up there. It drives me nuts because I could really do a lot of podcasting while I'm up there, because after your 12-hour shift, I only sleep 6 hours at tops. I could get a lot of podcasting in and a lot of stuff like that, but there's just no way to pull it off with how crappy the internet is up there. But you feel good. You feel awesome. You feel centered. You feel grounded, up at 4 every day, like you say. And you're like, this time when I get home, I'm not going to party so much. I'm going to be productive. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get up and jog every morning. Well, it all goes out the fucking window. As soon as you get home, you're like, wahoo! Yeah. You get a little drunk, and then then you're hungover for 2 days. And oh man, it's a vicious cycle.
Well, when you're off work or whatever, that's where, anyway.
The idle hands.
More
distance. So let's tell people about you're a fucking musician and an actor. Let's tell the people about that.
I would loosely call myself an actor, but yeah. But I always wanted to act and entertain and stuff like that. So I just got, the acting, I was just fortunate enough. Well, actually, because talk about intentions and stuff and like focus. So the reason I've always wanted to do like improv and stuff like that, just for fun. Like, I don't know if I really give a shit about being famous or anything, but I did kind of have my brief touch with fame. We'll see what goes on. There's supposed to be some more episodes coming out for FUBAR, but when I was getting ready to go to Peru to go to take ayahuasca. So I don't know how many people know about ayahuasca, but you want to so for 3 weeks before, it's like no caffeine, sugar, sex, alcohol, drugs, just like total fucking. Only thing I was doing was smoking cigarettes, which I thought you could do. And then I got there, they're like, oh, you're not supposed to smoke. I'm like, well, I was like, I'd have one thing bad, I guess, to get me through the day.
Sounds like a tough regime.
Yeah, well, it was good though, because I really wanted to go to do it, and I really didn't want to fuck it up. And especially as like going to Peru, and well, even that, anyway, that leads into other things. But anyway, I was going to Peru, but but yeah, in the meantime, so then but like talking about keeping your heart open and things will find you, kind of in a sense, there's a sign on a coffee shop window to go to see for improv club at a library. And like, oh yeah, I live in like a small town, Frank AB. Anyway, I was the 81st person in Frank. Long story short, there's not a really big acting community going on here.
In Frank,
But
Alberta?
there's some
Are
really
you
great
kidding
people. No, not even. Yeah, Frank, Alberta, right? Like, who knew? There's a Masonic lodge at the end of the street, though. You know. And anyway, so I went to do this improv, and I met the girl that was doing it, Tara Dawn Hazelton. Actually, ended up being like a really good. She's a really good jazz musician and stuff, but she also happens to be Trish from FUBAR. So I didn't realize that for a while, because that was right when COVID started. I think we did 2 improv classes or whatever, and like ended up talking and friends, and she likes smoking weed and playing music and stuff. I'm like, me too, we should hang out.
Go
we
figure.
did. And then she's like, yeah, I got this whole other like Instagram profile, and I got to do I'm like, because I was excited about wanting to learn more about like filming and stuff, which I have like just like video editing and kind of tying any kind of creative things I really always enjoy and love, like making things or whatever. Whether it's even machinery to like stuff, balancing that out. But so I ended up meeting her, and then I was gonna help her, and she ended up like, do you want to be in the FUBAR? So this is like flash forward almost like 9 months later, because that was right before I went to Peru. I was in Peru when the whole COVID thing happened, and I had no idea what the hell was going on, because I'm like, well, for one, when I travel, usually I'm like, I don't bring a data package or anything. I'm good with just, using maps, going around. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't give a shit. I want to see what happens, kind of like life flows, right? And so I had no idea this COVID thing was such a big deal, because actually they shut the borders down like 2 weeks or 2 days after I got home. Like, lucky my flights worked out when they did. I actually was hanging out with these dudes from Iran. They're like, we can't even go back to our country now. I'm like, what? Like, that's fucking crazy, man. Like, and I didn't think that was that bad, because there was the ones that telling me about like hand sanitizing and stuff like that, and like being like all this. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is another H1N1 thing, like big deal. But really is a big deal. Or was a big deal. It's over now, so whatever, we're good. But and so anyway, ended up getting into acting and coming up with funny ideas. Actually, well, we do FUBAR, but me and her have done 5 episodes of this, like this, it's called This Just In.
Yeah, I've been following it. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's just like goofing around doing like funny shit. That's pretty fun. Usually we start off like a Sunday at like 10 in the morning. She comes over, I make breakfast, smoke some weed, write out our jokes, and then we go execute our jokes. We ended up finishing around like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and learned how to like a green screen works and doing different things. And I don't know, funny, but and like I think that's helped me a lot too. And I was saying earlier about just opening your heart and not giving a fuck, like,
well, it's just creating like that is good, instead of sitting and watching Netflix and then being fed somebody else's barely creative shit that comes out these days. You just can't even bleh.
Oh yeah,
fucking you might as well like create your own thing. And I think it was like Terrence McKenna I was listening to like last week or something. I was like, stop the fucking magazines, because there wasn't much internet in his day. The magazines, the TV, and this and that, and start just playing music with people, doing improv, start creating your own content, your own life, you're gonna have a much happier and attract likenesses and stuff, people that want to do the same thing, and that's a beautiful thing.
For 100%. I wish I could remember who said exactly the quote, but it's like, I'd rather hear 1,000 people playing 1,000 different songs than 1,000 people all playing the same song, like,
Fucking right.
So,
and that's if people want to check your acting out, that's under Lance Thibodeau, right?
Yeah, you go to Lance Thibodeau on Instagram, and then, well, I'll pump some FUBAR or whatever, like Age of COVID. So there's been 2 episodes. I was in the 2nd episode, and then there'll be a 3rd episode, which is supposed to be coming out like fucking anytime now. We filmed it in kind of I was March. Yeah, January, February, like March. It was pretty nice out. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be at liberty to say too much about it, but actually I've been worried about cutting my hair because I'm like, if Lance cuts his hair, he won't be this greasy rocker dude anymore or whatever. So I was like, I gotta get a trim though. I got a wedding coming up, but
You're pigeonholed now.
yeah. Well, I was trying to get Terry to cut my hair, but it turned out, yeah. Anyway,
That's how you're gonna have to do it now, right? Keep up.
Yeah, I gotta loosen in a bet or something like that. Like, yeah, that's what I was
There you go.
thinking. Yeah, as long as I film it, it's probably okay. Yeah, like a slingshot contest, or I don't know.
I said we should see if because this is a spiritual paranormal conspiracy, it's a whatever podcast, whatever the hell we want to talk about. I said we should see if Lance and Terry have ever seen any Sasquatch on their camping adventures.
Okay, well, here I got some. So this will lead good into the whole spirituality realm. So that happened before I went. Well, sorry, I just met Trish before I went to Peru, right, to do the ayahuasca. So when I was in Peru, and I actually went to the ayahuasca retreat, I mean, there is like so many crazy things there. Even just like the people, like we did it with a group of 7 people, and I still talk to them, and it's been just over a year. Actually, the one lady, Valentina, I just met her in Nelson. Her and her boyfriend moved, close to Nelson. There's a little town by there. Anyway, in the Kootenays. So I just went and visited them. But yeah, like I did ayahuasca 3 times, and the first time I was just laughing. It was great. I was laughing, like I seen spirits, and like I don't know if anyone's ever listened to like Morrice's, but then when the shaman sings to you, because there's like a shaman and a priest with you, and you go through the whole ceremonies and everything, and you fast all day, and you eat 1 meal a day, and you just kind of wander around and like meditate. Oh, I brought my guitar and my like painting, like I had my giant bag of like pencil crayons and shit, and was just like wander around in this like this really tranquil place in this forest. Had my hammock anyway. So it's just like writing, talk to people, meditate. That part was pretty wild too. Cause like, yeah, you're on that whole dieta, right? So there's no outside influences in you, right? That's the whole thing. You're trying to and be one with her. So the first time I did the ayahuasca, I kept singing this song over, repeating the lyrics that I had written in my head, and like the Mandelas and like crazy things. Like I could see like the Milky Way through a window, and then I never heard that kind of like singing before, which actually I like even if you go on like Spotify and with like ayahuasca songs and stuff, I'll go back and listen to that. Cause well, even since I've been back, I'll try to stay on track. But yeah, I did like about 7 grams of mushrooms and was just like meditating with ayahuasca music, and like watch the like mountain melting out my window and the clouds morphed went from my mom to my sisters to my nephews, and I was just like, I gotta spend more time with family. And yeah, it was a great trip. And then yeah, the next day I got up and did like a fucking 6-hour like mountain bike ride. I was like, anyway, ayahuasca though was trippy, and it was fun too, because I was just starting to get peak a little bit, like when you're just like waiting, like so you're all sitting in a circular thing, and you kind of feel everybody, and yeah, I was just peeking there, like, do you want another shot? I was like, fuck yeah. Bring it on. and I was like, oh, here we go. But yeah, just great. And I was just laughing because I'm like, you already know what you have to do, you idiot. Because my intention was to focus and like be, well, as far as being more productive and like, and yeah, just having goals and like achieving those goals, making things happen. Because it's like so scatterbrained, and it's like, oh, I mean, people can blame whatever, like, oh, I'm sure I have ADD technically or whatever, like everybody does, but I don't know, finding that, I don't know, for me, like I feel like I can do anything. Maybe that sounds kind of fucking conceited, but like I really believe anyone can if you really want to achieve something, you can. So you just have to focus anyway and not try to get too distracted. Like days off when your neighbor's like, you're digging that trench, you should come kayaking, man. It's like, yeah, I should fucking come kayaking. And it's like, why the
Way
fuck am
too
I
hot
digging
for
a
this
trench in
shit.
fucking 35-degree weather? That's stupid. Anyway. But so yeah, the first trip was like amazing. And like, but other people, like they went, like my friends there, they all told different things. Like the guy beside me, he thought he was, I think the second one, actually, he thought someone had died, and it was like, yeah, you died, man. My friend Valentina, I went to visit, she went back through like fucking lifetimes. Like she's like, I was like 2,000 years ago and saw all these like different lives she led. And like basically the ayahuasca told her that she started like shamanic training and stuff like that, which is pretty sweet, out of Vancouver. And she's already like a EMDR, like a therapist, and working
Nice.
with yeah, she's been working with like psychedelics and stuff too, because they're technically still illegal, like mushrooms and that. So, but yeah, she's all into that. Anyway, so yeah, she's
Not for long,
related,
hopefully.
but yeah, like different things. So yeah, the first time was just like a giant, like a fucking crazy fun trip. Like I just wanted to go out and run in the forest, like I did when they talk about purging, like people puke and stuff. But actually, it's funny, like people in there, it's like you hear them puke, you're like, yeah, just get it out. Like I just love you, like puke your fucking guts out. That's because it's, you kind of feel in your body where the ayahuasca is like attacking things that are plaguing you and stuff like that. So that's also why you're fasting and everything too, right? You kind of want to purge everything out of your body. And
Right.
so it was great. And yeah, I ended up staying and talking with this guy John, who's actually a drone pilot, who is pretty sweet. And he was there with his cousin, who's like a professor of a university in Hawaii, who never even fucking smoked weed or anything. That guy had only never like drank, like, yeah, he never like total straight edge. Anyway, actually nothing happened to him the first time. He kind of felt gypped. He's like, I just kind of laid there. But so then the next day when you talk to the shaman, he kind of explains everything and helps you out. Cause like, well, for him, he's like, yeah, well, you just didn't let yourself go. Like you had expectations, or you gotta kind of like, it's like a Buddhist thing. We kind of just like let yourself, yeah, you don't want to have any kind of expectations. It's hard to explain. I don't know. I didn't know if it was gonna fucking work for me or not. And like the first time was, so that was a while. I was like, this is awesome. I want to fucking run through the forest naked and like hug every tree and like animal. I had a bit of diarrhea at the end, but I was just like in there looking at this moth, like expanding and closing its eyes, like, oh, this is the most beautiful moth I've ever seen, and I just want to go out in the forest. And yeah, so anyway, so it was great. That was the first, and then the next is, and yeah, and then they hydrate you too and stuff, so you got to drink so much like electrolytes and water. But then it's like the next day, like, okay, we're going for round 2 now. And we had to drive to this place because there was a big party in the town. Actually, that was cool too, because there was like these kind of drums and flutes, like way in the distance in the background. I was like, do you hear those drums and flutes? Yeah, I felt like we are kind of at like a festival way in the back or whatever, just like getting fucked up together. Like, you know,
Nice.
things are going outside, but this is like the best place to be right now. So, yeah, so the next one we went and did in the afternoon, and this was like a whole different experience where I just wanted to leave, man. I just want to leave and go get drunk. When I get home, like, fuck this place. Like, I kind of was like hallucinating. Well, I did hallucinate a little bit. There's these flowers that were really beautiful in the middle. I should have worn my shirt, but anyway, I made a shirt with the ayahuasca flower and stuff on it, because I remember that shirt and the shaman, in my skin kind of turned to snake skin, and I feel like, and I could just close my eyes, all I could see is snakes. And like, it's funny that, well, the snakes aren't that bad, like in that part of the culture where it's supposed to represent knowledge, which we go on another conspiracy when it's like, was the snake in fucking Adam and Eve actually getting them to get knowledge because he was helping them out because God was,
He might have been the good guy.
Whatever. He might have been a good guy, yeah. So I mean, different cultures doing different things, right? Like the Perakee. So
that's right.
Yeah. So it was sweet, but I was like, fuck this. I felt like my identity was gone, my soul's gone. I was like, wanted to get out of there. Yeah, I was just so fucking sad until I talked to the shaman the next day. And actually I think I went first the first time, and I was just, it was amazing. Like, everything makes sense now. It's great. So after this shit time, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, fuck this shit. I just started like crying uncontrollably when I was talking to him, and that was like also part in the purging process. And like, I'm just like, I don't know, my idea. I just want to go. I just gone. And like, he's like, well, that's. And then he told me that in 4 years, I'm going to be like famous and like this well-known person and all this shit or whatever. And I was like, oh, fucking sweet. I forgot to ask him like how I was going to do that though.
Well, you're on the Perakee podcast. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm on the Perakee podcast. So I fucking made it. Yeah. It's a
South American.
Yeah.
It's a South American Toltec legend, so it's all meant to be.
Yeah, because that's what it was. I didn't want to sound like an idiot when I asked you if it was South America, but I was pretty sure like Toltec. Yeah, well, like the whole reason I went down there is ancient civilizations and like because I like Graham Hancock and I've read a few of his novels and obviously listened to his podcasts. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna go fucking do ayahuasca, I want to do it in fucking Peru, and not only that, just see like Saskatchewan, like all the sites or whatever. So
yeah,
it's so crazy though. Like I did some tours and just the way those guys had everything calculated out to like the exact mile and place, and like there was a spot where like the water's coming out and that's like the perfectly balanced pH, and that's where like cleanse themselves on their way, like walking around and all these different, the stone
the negative
structures are, like,
ions and all that.
Yeah. And like all the different studying. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to go do it in that kind of spiritual place, which was sweet.
My house is in a direct straight line, a geomancy with Machu Picchu. If you walk directly south from my house in a straight line, you walk right into Machu Picchu.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, that was because I was in Cusco. I was in the Sacred Valley. So I went to Machu Picchu. So yeah.
Nice.
I've been directly south of your house.
Just a touch.
Just a touch. Yeah.
You didn't even stop by. Oh, we froze again. We're back. Did you
fuck yeah, man.
Did you take the bus up or whatever, or did you walk the whole thing?
The bus? Oh, I just took the bus like a lazy tourist. Yeah.
Okay.
We walked down because we were like, let's walk down because we had some time or whatever and stuff. I was with a group, so I kind of just did whatever. Yeah, there was 4 of us that went together from the group. A couple people had to go, but it was awesome. Yeah, just a whole group of like totally different free spirits. So you got like a drone pilot, a university professor, a lady that does marketing from like Amsterdam, EMDR therapist, and this girl, actually she ended up being from she was from Aberdeen, Scotland, where my granny was from, but she's like a super wicked chef and travels around on this guy's yacht making him meals, and then on her days off for like a month, so it works a month on, month off, and then she'll just fucking surf wherever. Like she's in fucking Nicaragua right now, just like hanging out, surf.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We had some technical difficulties. Kyle had to move indoors. He probably can't smoke cigarettes anymore, but I'm sure he'll be able to keep it under control.
I was thinking about this as like about a 4 a.m. party. Like, yeah, I know we're smoking in the house. This is my house, motherfucker.
My house, bitch.
My house, bitch. Yeah. Wake up in the morning. It smells like a fucking ashtray in here. God damn it.
Disgusting.
Whose idea was this? You're the only one that smokes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and you're by yourself.
It was Lance, wasn't it? It was fucking Lance.
Fucking Lance again, man. Yeah.
So I think where we left off, or where we started to cut out, was your second ayahuasca session, and you wanted to get the fuck out of there, and you could see your skin and body was like snakes. All you could see was snakes.
Yeah.
So let's carry on from there.
So yeah, so that's where basically, yeah, it's in the middle of that, like, and I was still like tripping good, and I was trying to focus. It was kind of funny. I could get out of my head. I started thinking, I remember too, about everyone else's things that were going on, which you're not supposed to do. You kind of want to like, you want to feel their energy, I guess, but you want to not be focused on that, or you not want to compare yourself to them. Like my friend Valentine was having a crazy trip. This guy beside me, John, was like flailing around and he was puking, and I'm like, why am I good? Like, what's like, I just want to get out of here. Well, yeah, and I'm like, why am I not getting a good fucking trip? And can I get another shot of ayahuasca? Like, what's going on? Let's go deep. But it ended up, yeah, we got out of there, and yeah, I was not feeling the love. I couldn't sleep that night. I don't know. It was shitty. I just felt like I lost my whole identity, my whole self. It was just like nothing. It was like being basically, you know, if you've ever done a lot of like drugs and shit, and you're just at your lowest low when you're like drunk too much, and you're just like, fuck. It's kind of like one of those feelings, like hopeless. And anyways, so the next day when we had the meeting with the shaman, and we went through, and I went first the first time anyway, I went last, but I was like, just like, by the time he like even said my name, I was just like uncontrollably like bawling my fucking eyes out, like, like, I've lost my whole identity, my whole self, like I just want to go, like, fuck this place. He's like, it's okay, this isn't like, it's like, just let it out, like, this doesn't make sense, or it'll make sense. But he's like, you're gonna be, in 4 years, you're gonna be like a famous person, like an influential person. And like after I cried, I felt better, and I thought that was like a pretty funny statement or whatever, like said it, because like that was my friend Valentine. She's like, yeah, you said you're gonna be, how many years has it been now? I'm like, well, it's been a year and a half, so I got like 2 3/4 to go before I like really, you know, blow up my fame. At the same time, I forgot to ask him what the fuck I was gonna be famous for. I'm like, now I'm like, I don't know. Like, I never asked him what I was supposed to do. I'm like, so it's funny because I ended up coming back, and then just like, yeah, doing that little bit of like FUBAR, but then well, music, I don't know. I love playing music and stuff, but I know that's, I don't know if it would be my true passion. And that's actually at the same time too, it's like following your life things is, it's how I ended up in this organization or whatever, this Because We Care 365.
Right. Yeah, we haven't talked
You
about
can
that.
also find on but so the lady that I started this with was my psychologist from the ayahuasca retreat. And so we like kept in touch too. And like, I don't know, like, especially with like COVID and stuff. And I've been fucking fortunate that I've like been able to keep my job and have money. And actually, that was another thing about ayahuasca. We were supposed to go to a dog place. We went to an orphanage run by a bunch of nuns in the middle of Cusco. So it was kids like, yeah, with Down syndrome and like, I'm trying to, like, really debilitating diseases, like basically strapped in a fucking wheelchair, like they need constant attention, like they can't do anything for themselves. And they're all just like beautiful. And well, even when I went there, I had my like this sweet ayahuasca shirt or whatever, and I brought my guitar, and they're like, "Look like Elvis." But it's like latched onto this kid latched onto me right away. We were playing like soccer, and just like it was like a beautiful thing where I was like wanted to like fucking break down and cry like so bad, just because like these poor kids are in here, but at the same time try to bring them some joy. It's like I gotta do something more. Anyway, I want to like people like this. So even when I got back, it was kind of shitty because that was like COVID. So I was like, well, I don't even know where to to like volunteer for something like this. So the Because We Care was, I was trying to think of something rather than, put my money somewhere I know where to go. So I was talking to Svetlana, the psychologist, and she's like, "Oh, I got a plan." But it was funny because I didn't really realize she basically just like free wrote for like 6 pages all these things she wants to do and change. And I was like, but because her Spanish is her first language, so her English is kind of all backwards.
Right.
So I'm like, do you want me to like rewrite this fucking thing for you? And I'm like, I can help you out that way. And then it was like, well, we got some money. I did like a GoFundMe page. We didn't really make much cash or whatever. Everyone's like, fuck it. I'm like, we can get like a website, start organizing. We got like 1,000 hens. Like, I don't know, I've put some money into it or whatever and stuff too. But next thing I know, it's like, I'm like the vice president of this organization. And well, not only are we like getting bees, we got hens, which we're also giving the eggs once a week to 2 different orphanages, and helping out these farmers just because they make like, I don't know, I don't even know if they make $1 a kilogram for fucking coffee or whatever. And I've been learning so much about coffee, which is crazy. Like, I didn't know coffee grew on trees as a cherry, and you have to like shred all that pulp, and then you just to get the bean inside, and then those beans you dry out. So then also you end up with all this fucking pulp and stuff like that isn't within like 9 hours starts to decompose. So
Oh, wow.
actually, if we could figure out a way to build a fucking centrifuge or something to dry it out, you could turn it into flour. You could create like ethanol out of it. And when you think about how many fucking, I don't know, probably 1 billion pounds of fucking coffee around the world, like, maybe 1 million, who knows, per like everywhere. Like, and that's one of the things I've been learning too, is the difference between like, there's like shaded grown coffee and sun grown coffee. And sun grown is basically like the monoculture, like cut everything down except coffee trees, harvest it with big machines. Like, that's the crazy thing about it, right? These are like some small independent farmers where we're trying to do this stuff, but they're also growing in this shaded tree area. So you have all the other trees and everything growing along with the coffee. So it's more like a sustainable, sustainable environment. So like the environment can prosper, the people can, but they don't know really about like permaculture that much, or like we get some bee training, but that's why we're getting like, we got a volunteer program and stuff too. So you can go down, work with the farmers, go to Machu Picchu and stuff like that, kind of see a little bit of like real Peru,
Volunteering. I've heard
volunteering.
that term. Yeah.
So that's like,
So
we're going for that.
have you brought the bees in with the coffee farmers to be like, to help out, to be like pollinators and stuff? Is that how that works?
Yeah,
or?
that's so basically, the bees will help will be the pollination in that for all the coffee trees. So that's by making sure there's like the bees, like trying to have like the actual wildlife, like everything. And like, that's why we've been replanting trees and stuff too, just like reforestation, because there's like mudslides and stuff there, and people like burn their crops and things like they do here, right? Like, I'm just gonna burn this field, start over, nitrogen in the soil. But
but you're working with more, like you said, of the smaller farmers that are not like monocrop and so devastating.
No, we have like
promote.
15, it's mostly women. Like, I shouldn't say mostly, we have 15 women coffee farmers. We have this like Bee Cafe Solidario, and so that's where we've because some of their stuff got wiped out when there was a flood there a couple years ago. So for when the coffee, so when you get all the beans, after you pick them and you take all the cherries off and everything, that's where you dry them. So you have to keep the humidity and pH the same. So when we basically created a facility so these people can bring in their coffee beans, which is, by facility, I mean like some fucking log poles and a big drying racks, and try to like close in like a little village. And you got to walk, like, there's not like there's really roads. You can't just drive up. These guys are hauling a couple 1,000 kilograms of coffee like up hills and mountains to like get to a spot, right? Anyway, but it's a logistical nightmare. That's what. Well, the funny thing, I helped Svetlana. I feel like I don't fucking do that much, I like donate money and edit. And I got my brother building this web page. It's coming along and get more in the social media. I want to go there. I guess I got to get a vaccine. It's like, fuck, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not too good on that. You got to get
I'll
your
just drive down there.
pilot buddy. You got to get your drone pilot buddy flying the beans over the
Yeah,
hill.
I'll get him to drop me off. Yeah. Give me a lift, man. You got one of those high range? You got one of those, oh, they're not UFOs anymore. UAPs or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's
yeah.
awesome. Your philanthropy, you're bringing hens in to lay eggs for the orphanages. You're bringing
bees to do the
bees
copy.
in to help pollinate. You got a facility going on for drying.
We're trying to get those guys a little more cash. So we've also hooked up with this Conscious with Coffee, who you can look up. And they're like these roasters from England. So that's why we want to get like our coffee, make it a little more, well, basically have it all the same, because there's like different types, like Typica, Arabica, anyway, different types of beans, but have it processed all the same. So that's just more consistent. And then we got a guy that does like, they call them cups, and he's in Cusco, but he's like a professional coffee guy. So he'll like rate different flavors like chocolatey, vanilla, blah, 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 bitter, sour, anyway, and they want to get above a higher level. So by helping them get these coffee beans, they'll get a higher level so they can get a little bit more cash. And then also we can help just, with the bees and stuff, is developing the farming anyway, but that's where we got the chickens. And I want to go dig a better garden down there. Like Svetlana, she works alone, and then people too are kind of skeptical. They're like, yeah, a lot of people, if I can come in here and say, oh, we're going to do all this and that, and then fucking shit doesn't go down. So try not to be like that. Like,
a lot of people don't follow through with they have good intentions, but then they go back to normal life, and it's too hard to follow through with.
And I love this lady, Svetlana. She's always just like, okay, so we're doing it. And the next thing you know, it's like, so, and also because there's like millions of dogs there. They're like street dogs everywhere. She's like, yeah, we're going to start like a program where people can just come in and get their dogs neutered. So we have that going on, because we care for paws. And then the Bee Cafe, the Reforce. Anyway, yeah, the list always gets longer, but I just feel like I don't know. I'm just here helping out on the administrative end, try to raise some money.
Well, that'd be cool. I've always wanted to do that volunteering. It'd be interesting thing to go do.
And that's where we were also working with like France, Australia for sending like students and stuff like that. And that would be like cool thing too. Like people that are interested in like that permaculture and gardening, bringing them in. Because I mean, the ancient Incas there, like that Sacred Valley, where I did the ayahuasca, there's still terraces now, man. They had it all fucking figured out where they like grow everything. And it's like, it's funny because we gone away from that. Like, but the farmers there still, they don't even use tractors, man. They're cutting down cornfields with like machetes.
Have you ever heard, I can't remember where I read it or heard it on a podcast. It might have been through Graham Hancock or somebody like that, but that like the soil in South America is like structured. It's engineered. Like a millennium ago, it's designed.
I believe that. Yeah.
And it's like super soil. And the only other place in the world that has the same type of soil is British Columbia. Like
wow.
It's pre-cataclysm, Atlantis Empire fucking farming soil techniques. Like it's structured, engineered, designed soil. And it's like, as well as anybody living in British Columbia, growing up in British Columbia, I live on Vancouver Island. It's a Garden of Eden, man. You could grow anything in the soil. It's a fucking beautiful black soil. You can grow anything in. So there's definitely was something going on there pre-cataclysm.
Because I think one of the first guys went there with like the Spanish, the first like priest that was documenting things. They said there was like millions of people in all these places. Like there was like these whole full cities built and stuff. Like they're still finding pyramids and stuff in the jungle, right? Like the jungle's just a fucking beast to try to grow.
Well, they got that LiDAR radar now.
Yeah.
That can scan through the forests and find all that. And interesting thing, there was like a kid, like a 15-year-old kid just going off. He's like, well, all these other cities that are there line up with constellations. So this fucking kid was like, well, if that's true, we got these other constellations. started crunching the numbers, and this fucking 15-year-old kid found other huge cities.
That's fucking awesome, man.
That
That's
like hundreds, and then they scanned it with the LiDAR, and they're like, yeah, it's bang on. That's exactly where the fucking city is.
Oh man, it's so crazy that those guys had those things, and like, well, it wasn't till the 1500s we developed a chronometer or whatever, right, for sailing and stuff. So we knew, I can't remember if it's longitude or latitude, but we didn't know one of them. And
Yeah.
I should say fuck, like I had anything to do with that.
I had no idea about it.
I developed a chronometer. I managed to put hinges on my bus door yesterday. That was my accomplishment.
Well, you are an engineer, right?
Yeah. Power engineer. I'm a Homer fucking Simpson. Yeah.
A lever puller.
A lever puller.
What about, you had a third ayahuasca trip? So how did that go?
You know what's funny? That one we had, it was a different shaman. And that guy felt like he was just kind of doing this. I was just making jokes. I'm like, I think he's just here because he's like had another kid and they got to go to university now. So it's just putting his time in. Nice guy. But it was funny. The third time I had a drink, I didn't get fucking anything. I ended up just having a nap. I was like, fuck it. But I think I'm good now. I was like, I had that, and then the second one, and then I don't know if it's because I didn't think of a new intention. Plus, it was all like bang, bang. Well, we did 2 in a row and then had one day off and then did the third one. And the day off was when we went to that orphanage and stuff like that. And I was just like, I don't know. I want to fucking do something beneficial for somebody.
So then
make a small difference in the world somehow. And then
so maybe your purpose was already set then, like you saw.
Yeah, I think my intention, and it's like I know what I got to do to change or whatever. Even just like focusing better, or in sticking to like a plan, like we're talking about. And that's where kind of I found that if I involve other people, then it's like I feel that I'm accountable to them. So that's like your integrity, right? So it's like if you have nothing fucking else, you have your word, and so try to keep that.
That's right. We were talking about that before, just when we were shooting the shit before we started the podcast. I mean, I'm nothing without the people around me that I love. That's why I work hard in a mine. That's why I do everything I do. It makes me a good and responsible person, because left to my own devices, who knows where I'd end up.
Yeah, which is like, I've been left to my own devices. You see my lawn.
It's for the bees. You're helping out the pollinators.
Man. I did pick a shit ton of dandelions and made dandelion wine. So
you can do that.
I fucking made dandelion. I went on a pretty good rant there when we froze, but I was saying one of the girls that we did ayahuasca with, because when I was in the circle, like everyone's having these like crazy, like one person's crying, doing this, and I'm like, what? I want to leave. But have you ever heard of putting like acid in alcohol? like
I've done both at the same time.
The girl from Aberdeen, she's like, I put like 10 hits of acid in like a 2.6 of fucking vodka, and they just have like a cap full and like go surfing or whatever. And it's like, woo, fucking. I'm like, I've been too cheap with my acid to try it, but I do make moonshine too. So it's like, I got some fucking, I should send you a bottle. You just can't tell them at the post office you're sending moonshine, but I got it in.
Gotta leave that part out.
I actually usually for Christmas, I make cookies and fucking apple pie moonshine, and I fucking mail that shit out. So I'll put you on the list. Yeah, that's like my favorite thing at Christmas.
I was listening to a podcast, can't remember which one, because I listened to many. This guy was like a real biblical scholar, and the thing that they're figuring out is back in those days when they were drinking wine, they've gotten like the old bottles and the old clay jars and stuff that these guys were drinking this wine out of, and they're full of hallucinogens.
Yeah, well, wasn't that like
all different kinds?
Oma Tepe? They found that, I think. But I've heard that. Yeah. They're thinking they were dosed. I've heard it on Joe Rogan for sure. Talking about that. I can't remember.
Like Gobekli Tepe, is that what you're talking about?
Well, there's Ogle. Yeah, that's right. Ogle Tepe. But I'm trying to think the site, some of them where they found that they found traces of hallucinogens for sure. No, I've heard that.
Yeah, like they always call
The
Jesus
burning
like
bush and all that stuff. Anyway, yeah.
well, yeah, like you get back to like the burning bush, right? Moses hanging out in the burning bush and talks to God. What bush? What kind of bush was he standing next to that was burning? Right? Probably a big pot plant.
Yeah.
Fucking visions of grandeur. Jesus was the anointed one, right? And they anointed people with oil, and they're saying back then they probably were anointing him with hash oil, right? Or fucking
Oh yeah.
marijuana
Yeah.
products. So if you're rubbing Buddy down with fucking hash oil, it's all absorbing into your skin. Well, no wonder he could walk on water, right?
Eat like a little chunk of hash like that, you'll be flying a fucking around. Like eating hash is funny. I didn't even realize you could do that.
Yeah.
My friend's cousin was like, you should. He's like, I got this hash, figuring we're gonna smoke it, and he just hands me a chunk, says, eat it. I'm like, what's this gonna do? I was hanging out with my buddy's kids, just like flipping them around. We were playing for hours. I'm like, let's get some drawing going. Uncle Leon got Uncle Kyle fucked up.
Edibles are not for me, man.
No, I normally do not
No.
stay away. Unless I want to kill a party, like
Yeah. No, I go deeply introspective and like fucking hyper acute awareness. Like I could hear somebody talking 3 blocks away, and if we're gonna and it's over, I could also hear all the squirrels and birds and energy going through the power lines, and that like it's just like it's too overwhelming, man. I cannot do it.
I just sit on the couch thinking about how thirsty I am, and I can see the cup right there. Like, yeah, I thought, yeah, maybe it's you this time. I don't know.
It's got to be me. Usually my fault.
Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. It's getting out. My service, well, my internet's not bad. My phone service sucks shit here. It's one of the downfalls of Frank, you know.
Frank, Alberta, not an internet hub of the world.
No, I live outside a landslide, which is like, actually, it's kind of fucking crazy to think about it. I pretty much live right next to a giant fucking burial
mass grave.
Mass grave, because yeah, I do live next to a mass grave.
Yeah, I know about that because I'm an underground miner and I know all about mining disasters, right? You hear about them. And yeah, anybody wants to look that up, the Frank slide, the whole mountain came down in the middle of the night, I believe it was, crushed the town, and all the miners were underground at work, and it slid down and buried them all.
Actually, and also since you're a miner, it was the Hillcrest mine disaster, I think, was like one of the third biggest disaster ever in Canada. In like what would it be? 1,000 anyway, 100. Wow, 1901. Fuck.
Yeah,
my number's fucked up, but yeah, 1901 or something. Anyway, there's a big burial. There's a big memorial to that. But yeah, tons of mining stuff around here. Actually, I could show you all sorts of different ruins of places, which is pretty cool hiking around. Yeah,
it's coal mostly there where you are, right?
Yeah, it's a giant coal belt. It's from here to like Fernie.
Yeah.
Sparwood on the BC border is a big mining thing. For all you people that hate pipelines, you're mining the shit out of it. Not that I'm going to be an advocate for pipelines or anything. Actually, they just shut down a mine here. They invested a bunch of money. They built them a new like clubhouse and for the golf course and changed these holes and shit for this mine. So it's a big deal. Actually, housing prices have gone, well, compared to there, you'd laugh. Like you can get a house here for 200 grand still. Like,
yeah, no, you can't get a bus stop here for that.
No, like the house, this house is 3 lots I ended up 185,000 from these people I met or whatever. Like,
wow,
it's crazy. And it's a beautiful, but don't tell anyone. Actually, fuck, I shouldn't even say this stuff because it is like the river. Like I literally can walk across the street to the river under the Frank slide. There's some rock to jump off. I got a sweet spot by Gold Creek. Actually, I wrote a song about it. It's on my Spotify.
There you go.
or YouTube or whatever you want. Gold Creek. Actually, and Trish from FUBAR is like, she's doing some background vocals on there. Yeah.
Nice.
Let's head on down to a creek called Gold. Cool.
Okay, yeah. So what?
So
While I lost you for a minute, I'm sure it's on there, but I was trying to plug you with the Carl's Infinite Madness because we care
Yeah.
and the Lance Thibodeau. But your music is on Spotify and on YouTube.
yeah, it's Spotify, YouTube, Apple, all of them. There's like this, you go to DistroKid and you can make basically your own label. Actually, I was even thinking, because I got sucked into like get a bigger one so I could just start another band. I was just gonna call it Voice Memos. I don't know. I was practicing like working on ideas and songs. Like I've learned that just like learning, like even as much as like, I don't know, most people hate listening to themselves. I do, but it's you just gotta learn to fucking do it. Especially for music and yeah, just talking or whatever too. Getting ideas. I don't know. I usually get high. Not when I'm the passenger. I'm not driving, but and either saying ideas or going back through my voice memos and I'm like, oh, that's not bad, or like record some songs at work and kind of forget about it for like 5 or 6 days, and then you're like, oh, go back. You're like, oh, that's all right. I can use some things out of this.
Probably inspired by Hunter Thompson with the recorder that he always had. Fucking.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I got a typewriter, man. Fucking right.
I got all the Gonzo tapes. It's a box set of 9 CDs.
Yeah.
That have him rambling in his drug-fueled rages and do his fucking tape recorder. It's awesome.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I should have. Oh yeah. I have a wardrobe. I was almost gonna wear my fucking Hunter S. Thompson shirt. I don't know why I didn't. I wore this shirt. This shirt actually, though, this was out of a notebook. I drew this and just made it. It was pretty fun. It's like a pterodactyl thing. It's supposed to be my old garage when I lived at this house. Yeah. I could send you a shirt since you're like a famous podcaster now.
Yeah, well, I'll have to have it now.
I should have. Yeah, well, now I was a guest. I'll send you. I'll send you moonshine and a shirt. I'm writing it down. I put my notepad. So man, we're good.
Well, next time we have you on, I'll have to wear. I got a Gonzo one with the fist that says Gonzo, and then the back it says "Too weird to live, too rare to die."
I got the same one. I just folded it because I was trying to decide what I was gonna wear. You know.
Oh, I got the hoodie and the T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
You gotta rep it always.
Yeah. Damn right.
It's been freaking me out though. It's been freaking me out though, like all that, like when you listen to all this like conspiracies and adrenochrome and this and that, and he was talking about that back like way back in the day, you know. Yeah. And last time he was just so offhand and almost kind of acting and playing a character all the time. But he was talking about Satanists and adrenochrome and this and that, and it's like, holy fuck, maybe he was hanging out with some people that were probably fucking.
Well, yeah, maybe. Well, the access to information is so wild now. So, like, if you never ran into those groups, you wouldn't have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't really looking for it, I guess. But like,
he thought he was just talking out his ass, but he might have been really and then there's connections with him. With Bohemian Grove and stuff like that. And
I was like, oh, him and Hillary Clinton or what? Fucking ordering pizzas together?
Yeah.
Hollywood thing?
Yeah, well, it's just stuff I never wanted to hear about him, right? I always loved that guy.
Yeah, I was hanging out with Johnny Depp, man. Of course he's compromised. Shit.
Yeah. I guess once you get to that level.
I don't know. I love hearing. But Bill Murray, when he was in Where the Buffalo Roam,
yeah,
that was
priceless.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah,
the dad is. Why was it Everybody Loves Raymond? It was sweet. The fucking
yeah. Yeah, that's fucking classic.
Yeah.
So I think we've kicked some ass here today.
Yeah, man.
We went over your music. We went over your acting career. So you think you're going to be getting involved more with FUBAR and doing some fucking...
Yeah, I hope so. Well, the thing about FUBAR too, anyway, with now that COVID shit's over, because those guys want to do like live performances and stuff like that. So they'll be touring around. So yeah, watch out for Terry. Like, yeah, you can look him up he's always on YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff too. And same with Trish. But yeah, they always got some funny shit going down. but yeah, they want to start doing like tours and stuff again, and like doing like live like comedy kind of improvs, and so they'll be ripping
you're
around.
hopefully
So
gonna be a
hopefully I
part
can
of
get
that.
in on that. Yeah. No, they're tight, man. It was sweet. Like that episode, I went camping with them. Well, I took them to the camp. That was my camping spot. Like, I got a spot. I got all this shit. Don't worry about it. Like, you want me to eat Terry? I got my barbecue in the back, fucking furniture. Like, I'll fucking make this shit happen. Yeah, let's
That's
go. And then
awesome.
we just ended up hanging out with Dave and his wife and their 2 kids and Trish, and fucking just camped. It was good. Ate
That's
some
cool. They
spoons
must
by
be
the
fun guys to
fire.
hang
Had
out
a
with.
good time. Yeah. Yeah. So they're sweet just to chill with. Yeah, they're awesome. So
Like I said before, we'll have to see if Lance and Terry want to come on Perakee and tell some camping sand squanch stories or something.
yeah, Sam Squanch. Yeah, I could see if I could hook it. Yeah, we'll see. I'll talk to Lance.
Yeah, we can't be serious all the time on
They're
here.
pretty much, yeah. Well, the funny thing about the Lance thing is like they're basically like, yeah, just be yourself. Like, so I'm like, hardly call it acting. I just pretty much do whatever I do normally, but I try to film some stuff now. Anyway, I've been kind of fucking lazy on that. I haven't filmed anything for a bit, so but yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
man,
it's funny.
been
It's
awesome.
almost like the Hunter Thompson persona too, right? That was one thing that I've read from him later, was like that he always had to keep being that. Like he couldn't Uncle
Yeah,
Gonzo or Mr.
people like-
Gonzo, the fucking crazy party man. Like you had to keep that fucking thing up all the time.
yeah, that's like Kerouac and shit like that. They say that
Yeah.
shit ruined them because, like, yeah, everyone wants to party all the time. Fuck, I'm not even famous, and I could just drive around fucking drinking and hanging out with people forever. Like, you know, if I came saying like, come to see you on the island, and then I see this person, and like, I could. I'm fortunate, I guess, that way. That's where the distractions come in, where it's like, no, I just got to turn off all my shit and not talk to anyone.
You could do a cross Canada tour. Same with me. All the mining I've done all over in camps from Quebec all the way over to here. Like, I know people in every single town all the way across Canada. I could hitchhike and crash on a couch probably all the way across Canada every night, no problem.
I had an idea to do like, I don't know if you ever saw like Thumbs Up America.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, but I'm like, okay, so go from here and like hitchhike back to Montreal and try to figure out where's the beef at? Why do we hate each other so much? And like, I'm like, oh, you guys are the best hitchhikers because 90% of the hitchhikers, they're always French. They're always fucking badass. Yeah, French or European, you know, the occasional Canadian, not fucking very often anyway.
Not anymore, no.
No. So I want to hitchhike back to like fucking Quebec and be like, try to solve the beef. I thought that'd be a funny show.
Even Terry Fox said he had a hard time running. He skipped Quebec. He was like running through Quebec, and then he's like, fuck this place.
Terry Fox? That's what I'm like. You guys got a beef against Terry Fox? What the fuck?
Even Quebec. Even Terry Fox hates you.
I mean, I have some respect for those guys because they just fucking riot whenever they do whatever they want. I'm like, it's probably why we don't like them, because like we should look up to them. Like we need to fucking more civil disobedience to get our shit done, you know?
Yeah, they don't put up with shit, right?
That's no, they don't put up with any shit. I'm sure their tuition's the lowest. I want to say they have a really good childcare program. Like if you're, you know, have kids. Anyway.
They get all the oil money from Alberta.
They get all the fucking oil money. Yeah. I'm out slaving away every day, fucking writing songs, and you fuckers.
Goddamn freeloaders.
Freeloaders. Yeah, right. Fuck. I don't know. Why can't we all just get along, you know? Smoke some hash together and some mushrooms.
Well, maybe they gotta do some mushrooms.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's everybody. You think about everyone, how people kind of get put in boxes in their towns and stuff like that, or like you don't like this person, but then when those people get together, then everyone hates that person. But then that's why we need an alien attack, so we can all converge together and just hate the aliens or whatever.
Unified through hate.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite, Kurt Vonnegut writes a story about that when they go to Mars and they're training the people on Mars to come back to attack the Earth. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in the middle, but yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah. Sirens of Titan. I think that's it.
I think that's that one. I remember
Yeah.
I read that all so long ago. It's fucking
Yeah.
all the
Oh,
stories are blended into
I
one.
always remember that though. Yeah. A unified fucking army. Well, they trained the Martians shitty. They gave them fucking shitty like World War I rifles and shit. And they're like, yeah, put little things in their head. Actually, yeah, some neural links. So if they think about the wrong thing, it's like, anyway, yeah.
It's all coming soon. There's actually supposed to be. There was some guy on Reddit like in 2013 talking about being an abductee his whole life and this and that in this big stream. And in the conspiracy world, it's all in pins and needles because back in 2013, he said between the 8th and the 18th of July 2021 is when they fucking show up. So it's all like right now, it could happen any day.
Little green men. All right.
But they're supposed to be good ones. So.
Oh yeah. No, that's the other thing. It's like, well, obviously the UFOs. Have you seen like those kids in Africa where the UFO came down and they like talk telepathically to them, and they've shut down the fucking nuclear sites, and like actually they turned some on. They kind of neglected to mention that also. I want to say they turned some on over in Russia, but maybe the Russians manipulated it because they can be trusted, or Americans and nobody.
Yeah, I don't trust nobody.
Don't trust nobody. Not in the fucking news channel anyway. I was just reading that they're basically just fucking they're just puppets for their corporations that support them. So they're gonna tell you whatever they want anyway. They don't even classify as real news because I just watched a Russell Brand thing. It was good. If you ever see him, but talking about how they've gone to court for slander and stuff, but they basically ruled that like both, like the left and right, like MSN to Fox is just entertainment. It's not actually real news. It's like they said that in court. Yeah. It's like, oh no. This is just like our assumptions, our opinions. It's not really news. It's like we're acting or whatever. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, turn off your TV. And every fucking commercial when you're watching the news is a fucking pharmaceutical fucking may cause restless leg syndrome. Go ask your doctor. Fucking
you ever listen to like Frank Zappa, man?
That's right.
Premiere TV.
That's right.
Yeah, fucking rights.
Anyways, it's a beautiful sunny day. I'm gonna grab a tube and go float down the Huntledge River.
Yeah, my buddy's supposed to be coming here, so
I think we covered everything.
Awesome.
Is there anything you want to cover?
Buddy. Thanks. I'm glad you're my first friend in high school. Yeah.
I'm glad we made friends too.
Yeah, fucking right.
I'm glad you're number 2 on my podcast. Well, the first one was explanation, so this is we're rocking and rolling now.
Fucking right.
And my third guest, I'm hoping, is going to be all about Toltec in South America. And he's friends with Graham Hancock and everything too. So watch out for that. It's going to be really cool. I sent you some of his music.
Oh, really? Oh,
so check it out.
Thanks. I'm flattered.
So we got, you can follow Mr. Morrice at Carl's Infinite Madness on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere.
Apple, any of your streaming platforms.
Any streaming platforms, anywhere you get your music. He's got Because We Care. Check that out. Where do we get Because We Care? You don't have the website up yet? Where can we find that?
The website's not quite done, but it's on Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, Conscious with Coffee. Check those guys out because those are gonna be our main guys buying. They want to buy like 10,000 kilograms of coffee from us. Anyway, yeah. No.
And we got your acting persona, Lance Thibodeau, which you can follow on Instagram or Facebook, right?
Yeah, FUBAR, man. Give her by the fucking river, which is you're gonna do that. So
do you want to, because lots of people that are listening are probably American, not forced to learn French like the rest of us Canadians. Do you want to spell that for people?
Thibodeau. I don't even know if he's supposed to be French because I was like joking around. I'm like, should I be making French jokes because my name's Thibodeau? Anyway, it's like THIBADEAU. Yeah, anyway, but yeah. Fuck. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, if you go just look at FUBAR, do it for those guys. So
yeah, look it up through FUBAR.
I love those guys. I can't believe that I was on FUBAR. I don't think anyone can believe that knows me that I was on FUBAR.
I
Like,
can't
what the
believe it. Well, it kind of makes sense, actually.
How the fuck did that happen? And I'm like, I don't know. I went and did an ayahuasca trip.
It's probably mostly my fault because I got you drunk the first time when we were in grade 8. So it's all been
Yeah,
downhill
yeah,
from
yeah.
there.
I know I got in trouble from my dad. Don't talk to your mom. I was just telling him about that. I'm like, I gotta talk to Brad Mulhall. I'm like, you remember him from like high school? He's my first friend. Yeah, it was good. He's like, I don't think Tammy soon liked him. I'm like, whatever.
Nobody, I was the instigator. Nobody liked me.
Yeah, you were always, you were the instigator for sure. That's
Oh,
why
yeah,
everyone
100%.
thinks that people instigate me, and I'm starting to get older. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm the guy. Fuck. Anyway, buddy.
All right.
Fucking peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Talk
It's
to you
been a
soon.
sight.
All right.
All right. Over and out. Perakee
Over and out.
tribe.
All that.
Perakee Nation.
Double high
Keep it
five.
real.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Mahaka.
Yeah. All
Peace
right,
out.
Perakee.